Some thoughts that have been shared with me that people have asked me to share with you this evening is that overall, Raleigh County was fortunate enough not to sustain the same degree of population loss as some of our surrounding neighbours, and we have a strong sense that as we move forward over the next 10 years that this is an area that we intend to see growth in. So we did not lose significant population. We feel we should not lose representation. So we would like to see Raleigh County be whole as much as possible, to respect the borders of neighbouring counties, for it to be continuous where possible. And we also hope over the course of the next month, working with Delegate Moy, to bring various stakeholders and constituents together through the chamber and see if it, as a community, both in Raleigh County, Wyoming County and Somers County, we can develop for you a sense of what we would like to see happen. So with those comments in mind, we appreciate the opportunity and your willingness to come down and actually listen to what community members feel needs to happen. And we feel confident that the Senate process is open and in good hands. And we look forward to working with Delegate Moy and the other members of the House Committee through their process on a very short time frame. Thank you.
Being a former delegate, out of the 27, would it benefit me to have one delegate to go to or 5 to go to approach the speaker to get something done? That's just a question I've got, and I haven't mingled this around in my mind much, but you know, which way could I benefit as a citizen? Like I said, having Mr. Delegate Moy to talk to, or having all these delegates to approach the speaker to get something I wanted accomplished. Someone would like to address that.
Well, what are your thoughts? Because you served in the legislature. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, I really don't know that 18,000 citizens, me representing 18,000, maybe around my house, you know, they could probably be easier for them to approach me. It would probably take a lot of work off of me, where people from Somers County wouldn't be calling me. But I just wonder, like I said, would I be as powerful going into the speaker, trying to get her into any chairman's office, trying to get something accomplished versus, you know, I've been called in with Delegate Moy and Delegate Sumner and Delegate Mann and Delegate Gall, and the speaker calls us all in together, you know, to ask us a question on something or how we would go on, actually, one time voting on the pay raise. But that's just a for instance. Like I said, if I called a single delegate, is he going to have the power that 5 delegates would have? I mean, I really don't know. This is something I haven't given a lot of thought.
I think the debate goes back and forth on that, because all the other meetings we've had, and I'll just say what's brought up is we've heard both sides of that issue. Some people would suggest that a delegate that lives closest to them is what they want, and others have suggested that numbers do matter in the legislature. As you know, in order to get anything passed in the House of Delegates, you need 51 delegates voting for it, and you need 18 in the Senate. So the more you have, in Kanawha County right now has 4 senators because they have overlapping districts, which is very unusual. I don't know if we're the only one now or one of the only ones with that. That's going to change this year. But the Kanawha County delegation, they are automatically have 4 people voting for their issue, as people from Beckley only have 2 senators representing it.
You know,
so there is an issue of 1 person, 1 vote there.
Just to bring up while you were talking there, I remembered, you know, we had an issue with the city doing the code enforcement, and we kind of met as a delegation and talked about it and decided that, you know, we weren't prepared to make that a permanent thing. We didn't think it was in the best interest. We actually, Delegate Sumner and Delegate Moy and I went to the city. We had them to have a meeting, and we told them we would do whatever the majority of the people wanted. We had a pretty good turnout, and we worked as a delegation. To me, then it's a question, like I said, if I'm from one single area, and it encompasses Beckley versus Delegate Moy from Crab Orchard, and I don't know where that would go, to Sophie or wherever, you know, but I've been powerful enough to went to Chairman Morgan and asked him, you know, that we'd rather keep that like it is. I just don't think I would have had the power to maybe have stopped that. And that's just for example.
Gerald from Raleigh County, down in that section where Mr. Cooper suggested it go with Boone County and some of the other counties. I'm very disappointed to hear that. And I hope you did listen to it.
Well, we're listening to you now, so.
Being from what used to be the Marsh Fork District and having worked in both Marsh Fork and Raleigh and the Clear Fork districts, we have always felt like stepchildren down there. And I know I suggested several years ago, hey, let's just disband from Raleigh County, take Clear Fork High School, Marsh Fork High School, and Sherman High School, and make a county. And that's about what he's saying, but we really don't want to do that. You know, I see my delegates up there and my senators, and I'm very proud of them. And I don't want to be in with Boone County or in with any other county.
Beckley. And I'd like to echo what you said about splitting Raleigh County, because if you put Beckley area in Raleigh County with Mercer has just over 62,000. No matter how big it is, you're going to be outnumbered in Raleigh County by between 10 and 20,000. And then the rest of the county that's put in with Boone or whatever, other ones are going to be outnumbered. So I don't know that we're going to have 2 senators. We may end up having 0 senators. That we're actually elected. On the House side, the Senate district, there's just a couple things on that. Raleigh and Summers County go together. And often, where we have 5, and 1 has to come from Summers County, so there's representation, almost each time you have someone who has more votes not getting in. But on the other side, for Summers County, or other counties that are put in with a large one, lots of times the people in their home county who they vote in the highest number is not who's elected, because the larger county they're with outnumber them, so they're not really necessarily getting the best. So smaller counties that are put in big, if we could try to get a single district for them as close as possible maybe, and then the larger ones go ahead and keep that as a multi-member district. Seems like a good compromise. The other thing that worries me a little bit about single district is if you've got 2 outstanding representatives, whether it's delegates or, in this case, from the same area, the same city, and they're automatically knocked out. It's similar to what we do with boards of education. We have 3 districts, and you can't have more than 2 from any one. Well, I agree that you need to have at least 1 from every one, so everyone's represented, but I don't like limiting the maximum. As long as everyone's got representation, then on top of that, it should be, in my opinion, who the voters feel is the most qualified or the most able, irregardless of which city or which town or community they're from. So those are just some. Oh, and lastly, you'll be redoing the congressional. Okay, and my friend here was mentioning, we were talking. If they're looking at redoing that, where the population in the Eastern Panhandle is so much larger now, it seems like maybe the North, Central, South might not be the best way. Maybe Eastern Panhandle, South up towards the Mid, and Northern Panhandle down toward the West.